Do you think this film, this comes from Frizzy Fran, do you think this film will get the message across to youngsters what politics and war is like?
Wow. To youngsters. Here's the thing. It's like you have what I loved about Stewart's perspective in the WTO event is that he went around to the different personalities. He went to the woman who has nothing to do with the WTO and who works at a store. He went to the guy who's a cop, who's really enthusiastic about his job and, really wants to do a good job at what he does. He went to these protesters who are passionately, caring about what our society is going to be like in a couple of years and whether humans are going to have rights and it's going to be some Orwell 1984 all over again. He went and focused on all of these issues. Whether or not youngsters are going to be receptive to it, I'm not quite sure. I think that, the one thing that's universal about this movie is people caring and standing up for what they believe in. And that is such a powerful image to see people just standing there, old women, young kids, and passionate, Gen Yers, sitting there quietly expressing that they disagree with what our government is doing and what the corporate America is doing. And that alone is so powerful, watching how people can react to people who are just sitting down silently, hurting them, throwing things at them. It shows how stupid we are. Just as a mass, as a whole, like, oh, well, you can't sit there, I'm going to hit you. Because if you don't move, how am I going to make you move if you're just sitting there? And that's all people were doing, was just sitting down. Making a little noise every now and then. We don't believe in this. They were just sitting down. So I think that is a universal theme, and I think that youngsters will definitely understand that because they've been there, and that's that same thing, that same feeling that you get when you're a little kid, and your parents telling you to sit in the corner, and your parent is so big. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna hit your dad, hit your mom? You got to do what they're telling you to, and the only way that you could ever fight back is by disagreeing and just showing how you feel through your face, facial expression, crying, or, sitting down and being silent. So it's hardcore. I think that it'll resonate in many different generations.
We got a question from Rostanite. He asks, or no,
Austin.
Rostanite asks, "Hi, how do you think you would have reacted if you really had been there?" The World Trade Organization.
That's a good question. One great thing about how I've grown in the past couple of years is that Jersey City ghetto mentality that I had a couple years ago, where if anybody messed with me, I would just hurt them, is gone. And I have a more tamed Mandela type mentality, and I recognize the power of intelligence when placed in situations where ignorant people are using force against me. There are moments in time where somebody can flip a switch on me and I'll get ghetto. I'll go back to Jersey City really quickly. But I think it would have to involve somebody touching a family member or somebody who's not me, because I can handle ignorance now. And I've come to a place, I'm so proud of myself. I've come to a place where I can handle it, I think I would have reacted by taking it. I would have taken it, and I just would have expressed with my mouth while I'm being dragged away. I think I would have reacted pretty much close to the same way that my character reacted in the film.
Speaking of that, Julia Cupcake asks, "Hi, Michelle. I'm a really big fan, and I just want to say that you are awesome. I want to know if you connected to your character Lou in any way."
Um, there are a lot of things about Lou that I connected to. I totally resonate with the level of anger and that feeling of just complete helplessness. When you're outnumbered and you know that you're righteous, and you know that you're fighting for a good cause. It's kind of like holding the light of God love and being shunned for it. And it's very Christ-like, the life of these protesters. But there's one element that's missing, and it is that humility that takes away the anger. And that's something that I didn't quite resonate with Lou, because she was so angry all the time. And that's what I realized about a lot of these protesters. You're so busy being angry and passionate about being angry and trying to find, methods to releasing and expressing this anger, that all this anti-stuff is taking away the focal point here, which is finding a solution. When you give energy to negativity, you're influencing the negativity. And that's something that I do not resonate with, because I'm grown up. So at the end of the day, my whole thing is ignore all the a-holes. Ignore all these people who are doing stupid things and be the solution. So that's one thing that I didn't agree with Lou so much about, was, sitting there and just being anti. It's really great for raising awareness, and there's a place in the world for everything, but it's just not where I would be. I'd be busy out there trying to create an ethical company.
Rain Ocampo 00302 asks, how do you like working with Ray Liotta, since you have before?
He's a cool guy, He's fun to work with. I barely saw him on this movie because we didn't get to work much with him, but he was a cool guy.
Okay. Vixen asks, hey Michelle, as cheesy of a question it is, I am curious, what made you want to do this movie? What caught your eye about the movie and the script the most?
Revolution! Yeah, I read the script, and I said to myself, and I said to my manager Sam, I was like, you know what? I don't care if I'm an extra in this movie. You got to get me in. Just because I like it when people have balls. What are you scared of? We come to this world and we die. Like, what are you scared of? Voicing out what you believe in. How do you think that corporations became so powerful? How do you think buildings are built and cities are built? Because people got together and believed in something. And that's what I don't understand in the mentality of people who are scared. It's like, oh, well, if I go out there, I'll get arrested. Big deal. You know what I mean? Stand up for what you believe in. There has to be at least some level of chaos in your world, or you're just going to live a flat line for the rest of your life. And I thought that script resonated that. It resonated that passion for life. That was so cool.